Your journey can only begin when the self-doubts stop. The first step is harnessing your bravery within. Believing in you is your host, John G. Williams. Hello and good day to you all. My name is Sean, and I'd like to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Bravery Within. I'd like to thank everybody out there for making the podcast a huge hit. We are gaining ground. We're gaining people there that are listening to it there, not only in the United States, but in other countries. Everybody's been submitting their ideas. They've been submitting even their dad jokes, which I think is really, really cool. Any new ideas that they have or things that they want, topics that they want to hear about, it's been fantastic. So today I wanted to kind of basically, this is episode 17. So for the past 16 episodes, we've actually been talking about what to eat, basically processing your past traumas, anything to do basically with the eating side of the weight loss journey. So I got to thinking, before I even got started, I kind of did a little bit of research to find out what it would take, how much water and what should you drink. And, I was trying to find out if there was pitfalls of different things that I was drinking that was basically deterring my weight loss journey. So I decided to make a whole episode, which is episode 17, Time to Stay Hydrated. I know everybody basically has heard, the benefits of water and everything else there, but there's so much more that goes into it than just drinking water besides just the weight loss part of it there. So what I wanted to do is talk to you about that. So there's going to be 3 areas today that we're going to talk about on the podcast. The first one is fluids and the important role they play in your weight loss journey. The second section is going to be drink ideas to help you instead of drinking plain old water. I know it gets old. I've been down that road and I know it gets really, really irritating, but hopefully there's a little bit in here that'll help you. And the final area that we're going to talk about today, tricks to help you track your hydration intake. So now that we've got that all worked out, let's get started with the first section. Fluids and the important role that they play in your weight loss journey. Like I said before, everybody's heard about, how great water is, drink tons of water, drink. It's fantastic, but one thing that I've learned through my past life and stuff, I get told to do a lot of things, and a lot of times there isn't any explanation or the why of why should you do this? Why am I being told this? What are the, everything behind it? So I thought today would be kind of interesting there. So I went through and did a little bit of research, which also helps me with my weight loss journey to stay on top of it as much as I possibly can, because I'm trying to find ways of not, basically sabotaging myself when I think, okay, yeah, this is healthy. This is what I've heard. This has got to be good for me. But then I start digging into it and you start looking and you go, oh, that's not so healthy for me. Or that had more calories in it, or it had more carbs in it than what I thought. So I decided there, to do a little bit of research into water. But one thing that I learned when I first started out is I knew I was going to have to cut down my Mountain Dew consumption. Now, take into account, as you have heard in many, many episodes before, I have not given up Mountain Dew. I will not give up Mountain Dew. That's just the way it is. There are some sacrifices that I'm just not willing to make, and I'm still losing weight. I'm still doing good, but I had to limit my intake. So I know I needed more fluids in my system. So what I had to do is I had to go back to the board and I had to start listening to what everybody else says, like, well, drink more water. Well, guess what? I guess unfortunately they're right again, and I'm getting kind of tired of this, but it does help in the end. So I thought, okay, well, if I need to cut down just my soda consumption, drinking Mountain Dew and stuff there, I thought, okay, how can I shave some calories off that's going to help? And when I looked at 1 can of soda it's a 12-ounce can of Mountain Dew, there's 170 calories in there. Well, 170 calories actually can go a long ways to either having more of a salad, or you can have a little bit more protein in your system and stuff there, because that's the good calories. Now, granted, I have to have the Mountain Dew for my migraines to basically help get me going, where other people they'll drink their coffee or their, whatever they want, energy drinks to get get going. To me, that's what keeps me sane, is my Mountain Dew. So I drink that, but I thought if I could cut back on it a little bit there to try to help with my weight loss journey, then that's what I would do. Most of your drinks and stuff there, even if you shave off just like one can, which is 12 ounces of soda, you're shaving off 200 to 250 calories right there. And that doesn't take long to add up. I mean, you're looking at almost 2,000 calories a week. I mean, that really adds up really fast. So unfortunately, guess what? They're right again on water. And one reason that they're right on the water is really our bodies are made up of 60% water. So you have to keep hydrating everything in your body there. You know, your organs, your eyes, your skin, your blood, everything there is all based on water. And if we don't have enough of it, then you feel a little funny. And I'll cover that in a little bit here. But keeping hydrated is very, very important, especially on your weight loss journey. They recommend, and these are kind of like all over the place. I'll actually have two different numbers, so I'll let you kind of float in where you kind of want, because I haven't been able to get a 100% definitive answer yet. And if somebody knows, hey, please, let me know. Send me an email. Let me know. I mean, I would absolutely love to know. So I'm telling my extended family out there the correct information. But one person, one study and stuff there said that you should drink 8 to 10 ounces. Or 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of water every day. So basically that's 64 to 80 ounces of water per day. And then I've also read on there that basically you should take your weight, chop whatever it is. So hypothetically, say you weigh 200 pounds, chop it in half, which is 100, and that's how many ounces of water that you should be running through your system to keep yourself in optimum shape and perfectly hydrated. If I were to do that, I would end up drinking a gallon or two of water a day. And it's like, you know what, I make enough trips to the bathroom there while working, I'm sure I would get in trouble at some point for making a trip every 20 minutes. Let's be honest. I'm getting older, things they don't hold as much. So you make more trips to the bathroom. And I drink what I'm supposed to every day. I have a 32 ounce container that's down on my desk. And in my head, for keeping track, I have to drink 2 of those a day. And that's what I do. I try to drink 1 in the morning and then 1 in the afternoon. And of course I drink more when I get home, and I drink more before I get to work. But that's my way of tracking it and trying to go with it. And there's a neat thing that I'll talk to you about at the end of the podcast that Rebecca, she was on the show here with the weight loss surgery. There's a neat way that she tracks her water intake, and it's really cool. She's been using it about 2 years, and I'll tell you about that there further on in the podcast. But another thing that I was told, that I read up and stuff there, is if you exercise, it's actually recommended that you drink a glass or 2 of water an hour before working out. So that way you get hydrated and get moving. Then you should drink 1 while working out and 2 more afterwards to replenish everything you sweat out. Of course, if you live in a hotter climate, I live up here and I enjoy the cold. I love winter, but I know there's folks that live down, closer to the equator that are listening in and stuff there, and their climates are a lot warmer. You actually should drink more, and that is, you're going to have to figure that one out of how much more you do, so that way you stay hydrated. You might have to drink another 3-4 glasses of water per day because you're hot, you're sweating, and your body's trying to stay cooled off with the sweat. You might just have to drink more. So it's kind of, I don't know if there's a hard, fast rule of the exact number that you really should drink, but I've seen like 3 different things of how much you should drink, so I'm not quite sure which one's the best. But I look at it this way: I know my body, and I drink as much as I possibly can without going overboard, and making sure that I don't go underboard where I start feeling sluggish or I just don't feel good. So then I'll bounce up my water intake there. But one thing about it there, one thing that I thought was kind of neat there, that, drinking more water, it's not magic. Drinking water appears to stimulate thermogenesis, or heat production in the body, particularly when the water itself is chilled. That's why they recommend drinking cold water, because at that point, your body has to expend energy to warm the fluid up to be able to utilize it. Well, in that process, you're burning calories. So guess what? It's actually going to help you lose weight. So the colder the water you drink, the better off there. And what that does is it also kicks up your metabolism to process it even faster. So you get kind of a twofold thing. You kind of get things rolling there by jump starting it with cold water. And that's the one that I prefer, is cold water. I can't really drink room temperature water. To me, it's just, I have a hard time drinking it. Just like now, as I'm talking to you guys here, just to the left of me, I've got my hydro flask that's sitting here on the counter, and it's full of ice water. And I drank a bunch before I jumped on the microphone, and I'll have a bunch afterwards. But they're saying that if you drink that much water and stuff there where you get it chilled out, there's actually, it can lead to up to a 30% average increase in the metabolic rates, which is really, really cool. It doesn't mean that it's going to be that way for everybody, just like me. I don't get all the benefits, but what happens is I can walk past the chip aisle in the grocery store, and I don't have to eat the chips. I don't have to eat any of that stuff there, and I gain 2 pounds. It's just not fair. So not everybody is going to bounce up their, metabolic rates by 30%, but even if you can get something of a jump start and get going, hey, that's going to help you out in your weight loss journey. And it's all done without calories, which helps because, like me, I watch how many calories I intake per day. I watch how much protein I intake, how many carbs, all of that stuff. I try to keep, I keep my protein. I try to take in 85-90% of my diet is protein, while the rest is carbs and sugars. So that way I don't run too low, and I have to be careful, and I do have to adjust it because, especially now going into summer, I'm going to, basically get hotter, sweat, you're going to drink more. Well, when you do that, you have to be careful too, because then that's going to pull the salt out of your body. It's going to pull other, minerals out of your body and stuff there. So you have to be really, really careful to make sure you replenish that. And I know some people will drink, Gatorade to get it back in, or Powerade to bounce it back in. And during this time I try to, I still drink a ton of Mountain Dew. I'm not going to lie about it. I mean, not a ton. I mean, I probably have a can and a half almost every day. But when I went from having 12 cans a day down to that, it was quite the system. So, but I do all I can to still support the Mountain Dew Foundation and everything else, because someday I hope to, be buried with Mountain Dew cans all the way around my grave. I know that's goofy, but hey, you got to wish. Or to die in a vat of Hershey's chocolate. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's like, all that sweetness is you're passing on to the next life. What a way to go. Oh my goodness. I better quit. I'm going to get started. I'll end up digging into the cupboards here pretty quick if I keep talking about food. So basically, when it can also help you, just so you know too, not just basically revitalizing your body, but it can also help with the appetite. I've noticed that if I don't really want to eat, especially going into these summer months, you're just not going to want to eat. So what I try to do is I try to drink a little bit more water. And yes, I drink a lot of flavored water, because it just gets to be so much after a while, and it's like, okay, there's only so much water you can honestly drink. Let's be serious. I mean, I know there's some people that never get tired of it, and it's like, hey, I envy you. It's like, I don't know how to get that way, but I wish I could get that way. But I flavor mine, but it helps with the appetite. It'll boost your metabolism. It makes exercising easier and more efficient, which basically, when you break it down, that's going to help on your weight loss journey. So it's a great thing. And then I went even deeper. I thought, these are all the things that it can help with. What else does, say you drink a lot more water? So some of the things that I found, which actually kind of shocked me when I started reading up on this stuff here and learning a little bit. And the first one that really, really absolutely called to me was, it helps with headaches and migraines. And they say that headaches and migraines can be triggered by dehydration. So keeping your water, keeping the fluids up through your body and stuff there is actually really, really good. It can help basically reduce the intensity and the length of the headaches. And that's probably why, when I started my weight loss journey, it's probably why my migraines went down, because I really upped my water intake. So I think there's a lot to this thing here with it helping with headaches and migraines. Now, the thing is I still get them. I still get a couple per week, and they're getting better. Sometimes I get lucky and only get one a week. Sometimes I can go a whole week and not get them. But it's better than when I would run 9-10 days in a row with a migraine and I couldn't shake it. Well, I guess my guess is maybe this is one of the things that I didn't realize was helping me was by drinking more water. Like I said, I'm learning as I go myself, figuring this out as I go. Another thing that drinking more water can help on is actually it can help improve brain function. If you're feeling distracted, if you're feeling disoriented, some bouncing your water, because your brain there's a ton of water up there. Your brain thrives when you drink more water. You become more alert. And I know some people will jump to coffee and thinking that caffeine is the best route, but really when you break it down, the best thing to drink is water, and that actually shocked me a little bit when I was figuring it out there. So they said there that if you aren't drinking enough, your brain can actually shrink up there in your skull, making the transmission of electric signals and communication from your body more difficult. So it was like, okay, well, maybe when my brain was trying to get all that information to process it, it couldn't get it, so then it gave me a migraine. I don't know if it is or not. I'm not a doctor, and I don't have a piece of paper on the wall saying, hey, you're smart, you know all this stuff. All I can do is read articles, medical articles, and hope for the best. It can also help prevent cramps. Like Charlie horses is the best way. It's the only way I could think of to describe it, basically. Leg cramping are huge. I bounced up my potassium to help out with that there, but I've noticed that drinking more water, I don't have as many of the leg cramps that I used to have. Basically, what it does is it helps your muscles stay elastic and keeps your joints lubricated. So all the way around, it helps. It's amazing what the power of water does. It helps out so that way you have healthy skin. Basically, your skin can stay, that's basically all your skin is water. That way, if you want to keep, basically a youthful complexion, then what you should do is you should drink more water. It's going to help out all the way across the board. Water hydrates the skin and improves blood circulation through tiny capillaries. So basically what it does, it makes it more elastic and it bounces up and it'll tighten it up and it'll actually look a little bit better. It's not going to help me out any. There's not much that's going to help me in that area, but hey, to each his own. I've been told there, I don't have problems with this, but I read up there, it fights bad breath, because basically when you're drinking more water, you're washing your mouth out, and that's where basically the smells come from, because they're lingering around, because bacteria will build up in your teeth and in your mouth, and if you're drinking more water, you're flushing your mouth out, so you're less likely to get bad breath, which I thought was pretty cool. Boosts the immune system, which I thought was really, really cool. Basically, it helps against the cold and the flu bugs. Studies have suggested that staying hydrated with water reduces your chance of more severe diseases such as cancer and heart attack. It'll make you feel healthier, and it just, basically flushes out the system. That's the best thing that I can say for that one. And when you get rid of the toxins, that's also going to help in your weight loss journey, because then your body is more efficient and it's going to burn those calories. It's going to burn those fat cells up. It's going to help all the way across the board. It's been known to improve your mood. I know that if I run too low, if I'm starting to feel sluggish, and I can honestly feel myself auguring down, then what I do is I jump in and I'll drink some more fluids, and it takes a little bit to run through the system, but it actually does. It'll actually fire up the cells and everything else there. So you watch that one there. That's why heat stroke is huge and stuff. You got to watch it because you really get dehydrated. So you got to really watch it, especially going into the summer months, folks. Really pay attention to that there and watch the heat indexes, because that'll catch up and it'll get a hold of you. So this is another, according to the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine, this is what they recommended for how many fluids you should drink a day. Men should drink 11.5 cups, 3.7 liters, or 125 ounces of fluid per day. And granted, now I know your first thing is, oh wow, I got an out for wine and beer. Remember, that's not real good for you. It's good. A beer a day actually has been known to actually help with stress and help you out. But you remember, they're kind of looking for water and water type drinks. So just, they also suggest for women, Basically the same thing, 2.7 liters or 91 ounces of fluid per day. Not a big difference, but there is a little bit of a difference there. Basically 10 and a half cups is what it is at 2.7 liters. So it's pretty cool what it actually does for you. So I knew that figuring all of this out, that's the why of why you actually should, drink more water. So drinking water can get old real fast. So what I thought I would dive into is a little bit further, and I wanted to see also if I was sabotaging myself on my weight loss journey by drinking the wrong thing. So the second section of this podcast is drink ideas to help you instead of drinking plain old water. Like I said, it can get old really fast drinking it. But one thing that they do recommend is you can have a little bit of alcohol through it, and there's a list here that I'll be going through in just a minute here, which I thought was really cool. Things that they recommend, things that they don't recommend, and some that are basically you're riding the fence depending on how much you drink and the type that you drink. So I thought it would be really cool to talk to you guys about that, so you kind of know also, okay, well, where does my drink kind of fit in? Now these are just broad categories, of course, and I'll do my best here to try to fill in a little bit. But one thing that works against me is I'm allergic to alcohol. I can't drink wine, beer. I can cook with it because it burns off, which helps with when I'm making pork chops or I'm making hamburgers or steaks. You can actually use like wines and stuff there to marinate, to cook in. So that way, there's a really, really cool drink. It's from Prairie Berry Winery that we have here in town, which I'm only about 20 minutes from. It's an amazing place. And they have, which my son and I used to cook. It's called Red Ass Rhubarb. Sorry the name, but that's the actual name of it. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but it's a rhubarb flavored one, and when you marinate and cook in it, you get kind of like a sweet taste into the meat, because your meat sometimes will be salty, and it's actually a nice combination. So if you get a chance, you can go to prairieberrywinery.com. They're really, really cool, and take a look at what they have and stuff there for cooking wise. So this actually does fall in, the alcoholic drinks and stuff actually is on the list. So what I wanted to do is there's a total, let's see here, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the best things to drink while you're on your weight loss journey to help replenish your body. And of course, number one is water. I mean, that's a no-brainer. Replacing sweet and soft drinks and water can cut hundreds of calories from your diet, just so you know, which you all pretty much know that. Next one that I ran into, which kind of shocked me because I didn't think it was going to be this high on the list, but skim or soy milk. Beverages that are low in calories but high in nutrition are good options when you're trying to lose weight. Skim and soy milk both fit that bill. They're both plant-based milk substitutes like almond milk, and typically have fewer calories than what cow's milk does. So I guess once I thought about it, it wasn't too bad there and stuff. I just thought that it would be, kind of like one of those riding the bench drinks, but it's not. It's actually one of the best things that you can actually drink, so that way you can replace that with water and continue to get all the fluid ounces that you need for your day. The next one that they have is, of course, I knew this one was going to make it. It's green tea. Basically, it's not only calorie free, but some research suggests that green tea may help with weight loss. I haven't been able to figure out why, but they're thinking that some of the micronutrients and caffeine that's in it there will actually help with weight loss. It helps keep you going. It bounces up your metabolism. Anything to try to help out that, which my metabolism pretty much runs in neutral, it feels like all the time, but I'm still working on it there. Another one there is vegetable juice. I thought this was going to be way too high in calories. You have to be really careful with this one here because it does, and it also has a lot of sodium, salt. So you have to actually really be careful with that. But like everything that I buy anymore, it's all low sodium or no sodium. I haven't added salt in years to anything that I've cooked. So, but vegetable juice is actually one of the best ones. A cup of tomato juice has 41 calories compared to 122 for orange juice. Choosing juice with pulp gives you some fiber too, which actually can help control hunger and make sure that everything stays running right. So there's actually a lot of benefits out of vegetable juice. I don't care for tomatoes, so I don't drink this, but they're saying it's one of the best things to drink there to replace water, and when you need a substitute. The next one actually kind of shocked me a little bit, and it's black coffee. That one there, I figured because it would help, basically kickstart there a little bit of caffeine. And they're saying that coffee is actually a better choice than soda or energy drinks. Black coffee is calorie-free and rich in antioxidants, which is actually really, really good for you. They suggest, as long as it's a moderate amount of about 3 to 4 cups a day, then you should be okay. Anything over that there, then you start encroaching on, okay, you're getting too much and it's not really beneficial for you. But hopefully, because I know most everybody drinks coffee in the morning. But the problem is that they get the flavored coffees or the big fancy ones or whatever. I don't drink coffee, so I don't really know a lot about them, to be honest. I just stick with my Crystal Light and I stick with my water and my Mountain Dew. That's pretty much what I drink. The worst ones, there are a total of 4 that they actually listed on this survey and stuff here. The first one, like we were kind of talking, is the specialty coffees. Like a 12-ounce cafe mocha can be almost 300 calories. A vanilla latte can be almost 200. So you have to be really, really careful with that because your calories can skyrocket. Just like what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, where I cut out 1 can of Mountain Dew, that's 170 calories, but there's a lot of pops out there that are 250 per can. Well, if you take it out of here and then you replace it with a coffee, you're not gaining anything. All you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot and you're not going to get anywhere. So you have to be really, really careful because, unless they're using like sugar-free syrups or skim milk, basically you're bouncing your calorie intake way, way up there. And basically, stay away from the whipped cream, I guess, and not put it on there because, like I said, it's sugar and it's calories. You have to be really careful. Of course, I knew this was going to be one of the worst ones, soda. We've already talked about that, about why I dropped some of my Mountain Dew. I'm giving it all up so the Mountain Dew company can be really, really happy with me, which I never will. But they say switching to diet can also help if you want to. I know my friend, he drinks Diet Mountain Dew and it helps him. It helped out his blood pressure and he feels better. He doesn't drink a lot of water. He's not a water fan in any way, shape, or form. But he does drink Diet Mountain Dew. So, it's still Mountain Dew. So we're still doing good. We're staying there. I know you're probably tired of hearing Mountain Dew, but guess what? I love it. Another one here is, being that I don't drink, these next couple ones and stuff there are just kind of, okay, you're going to have to help me out here. Specialty cocktails. Party drinks like margaritas or Mai Tais can be very, very heavy on calories. So you have to really be careful with those. Basically, they're saying the key with cocktails is to skip mixers like soda, juice, and pre-made cocktail blends. Do something simple like vodka or club soda. That'll keep the calories down. Vodka ranges from 70 to 100 calories per ounce. So if you're going to have that might be a better way of doing it instead of just, basically diving in. I mean, I know we all love our drinks and stuff. I'm not arguing. It's like I'm no better because I keep saying Mountain Dew. But so I know some people there, they like their cocktails. The other one that they have is they're calling it a mocktail. Alcohol-free doesn't mean calorie-free. Mocktails can be high in sugars and calories depending on the fruit juices used to make them. So be really, really careful with those as well. You can offset them with herbs and spices instead of sugar-sweetened beverages. You're just going to have to be careful when you're doing this. You got to weigh everything in. And for somebody like me, I know what all goes in my body. I know how much carbs, how much sugar, how much salt. It all goes in. You got to figure in calories, of course, too. So you have to be careful with all that stuff. And I know it gets old and it gets tiring worrying about all of that stuff. But that's the only way that you're going to stay on top of it and keep going in the right direction on your weight loss journey. And then there's a total of 6, they called them, basically on the fence drinks and stuff. You have to be really, really careful with them because typically it's the calories that will catch up to you and get you in the end. The first one is kombucha. This is fermented tea blended with sugar and a culture of bacteria and yeast. An 8-ounce glass typically has about 30 calories. It's said to have several health benefits, including basically a hand in weight loss. They're not overly certain about it, but just be careful with this one. The next one there, beer. It's not the best beverage if you're trying to lose weight. A 12-ounce bottle can or can of light beer won't typically give you more than 100 calories if you get the right ones. You have to be really, really careful. A regular beer is typically around 150. A glass of it, that's 16 or 20 ounce, typically can get you up to 250. So if you have one or even two of those, that's 500 calories. Really, that's a whole meal. So for somebody like me, I couldn't have it because I need those calories there to keep going. But if you adjust your intake and everything basically to keep yourself on track, hey, if you want to have a beer, that's fine. They just say, it's kind of one of those you walk the fence on to be really, really careful. Another one they said was wine. Basically, a 4-ounce glass of wine has about 100 calories in it. You have to be really, really careful with those too. You could basically mix it if you wanted to cut it down. They recommend you could do a no-calorie beverage, like a wine spritzer. That's about half the calories, and that, or you could do club soda. I know you're probably going, ew, Sean, just stop talking, because when I researched it and I read it and I go, ew, Sean, what is wrong with you? And that's kind of my thought. So, but being that I don't drink alcohol, I can't. Maybe people already do that. I don't know. I'm still just kind of learning myself. So, another one that goes right down the middle, they classify energy drinks. That's in them there. Basically, the active ingredient is caffeine. That's what you drink it for, is because you need that jump start to get going. Some of them do have vitamins, herbal supplements, and creatine in them, so they're going to help you. So if you're going to drink them, do a little more research, look at the can, read the ingredients, see if you can actually turn your energy drink into something that's going to help you and not work against you. Like I said, there's these things here and stuff here that I was learning, is like some of these things were I was sacrificing, because I thought they were good, and all I was doing was killing my weight loss journey. So I had to be really, really careful, and I had to make some more changes. Fruit juice was another one you got to walk the line on. You want the vitamins and antioxidants, but then right along with it, you got the extra sugar. So what you try to do is you try to find 100% fruit juice, and what I used to basically get the frozen ones and then throw it in some water, and that way you can keep your calories down to basically zero while still trying to get all the good stuff. That's why I drink the Crystal Lights, because I can throw it in, make up a whole quart of it or a couple quarts, and that seems to work out better for me. And I have different flavors that I have that will help me get through the day. But Crystal Light to me has been a lifesaver. I've been drinking it now for years, and just basically when I'm tired of, but I have it every day, but when I'm tired of water, I'll jump into that. And typically by the end of the day, I've had my fill of water, so then I'll drink more Crystal Light because it's flavored, and it'll help me keep going and power through to get the fluid ounces that I need. The other thing there, the last thing that they have is right on the line, is smoothies. Blend a banana, strawberries, blueberries into a frothy smoothie, and you've got a delicious drink. You can make your own with skim milk, almond milk. Frozen fruit are better. Fresh fruit is better for you. You have to be really, really careful, because they say that restaurant smoothies can include cream, honey, or other sweeteners, and that is going to kick up your calorie count again. So you have to be really, really careful with, what you're drinking. Make sure you know how much is basically you're putting into your body. I know it gets old hearing that, and it gets old saying it, but this is all part of your weight loss journey. The more information you have, the better decisions you're going to make, just so you know. So, but like I said, I drink Crystal Light. That's what helps me power through, and basically, so I can keep drinking all the fluid ounces that I need. I don't hit it perfect every day, but I'm always real close. I try to do the best that I can. So that's going to lead us in to the final section today of the podcast, and tricks to help you track your hydration intake. Like I said, there was a neat bottle that Rebecca uses and stuff there, and she talked to me and shows me, and I talked to her before I did this podcast, and she showed me kind of how it worked, and it's amazing because it's kind of like, okay, this is an incredible piece of technology that really, really helps, because what it does is it links, the bottle will actually communicate with your smartphone, and there's an app in the smartphone, and it tracks literally everything. And I know she keeps what she eats in there, so she watches, her calories, what she can and can't eat, because she went through the weight loss surgery, so she has to be extremely careful with what she eats and drinks. So learning from her, this was an incredible little trick that she found, and I think she's been actually using this bottle for like 2 years. It's incredible. I've thought about buying one for me just to find out how much I'm doing. I do my very best there to try to basically, like I said, I've got a 32-ounce container that's down there, a water bottle that's on my desk, and I try to drink 2 of those per day. I always get at least 1.5 down before I come home. So if I know I'm a little low, then I'll bounce it up when I get home. But they're saying that's one good way. Water intake through an app, which is really cool. And her drink, the bottle and stuff there in the app, is actually called a Hydrate Spark Pro, is what it is. So I went to work and I wanted to go, and I went to the website because I just wanted to hydratespark.com, and that's where I found it because I was just kind of curious on price wise and what it all did. And this is from their website, which is really cool. So I'm just going to read this paragraph here right from the website so I don't mess up their product, because it's a really cool product. So it starts out saying, Hydrate Spark Pro, the world's smartest water bottle ever created. Available in stainless steel vacuum insulated material, keeping drinks cold for up to 24 hours, and lightweight, shatter, and odor resistant with Triton plastic. There's an LED smart sensor puck, glows to remind you when it's time to drink, and tracks your water intake by syncing via Bluetooth to the Hydrate Spark app. You can choose from 4 different sizes, which is really cool, and 2 lid options that will make it your own with custom glow colors in the app. And it's cool because when we're sitting here in the living room and we're just talking, Rebecca and I, you can actually see her phone's there, but the water bottle is actually sitting there. If she hasn't drank anything in a while, it actually lights up in the bottom and it continues. And I think it also will alert you with a sound too, I think, so that way you're not missing it and you keep up with your fluid intake. I was able to find several different sizes and designs on the website, different kinds of lids, the flip open, the screw on. It was really cool, and the pricing seemed to run from about $69.99 to $89.99. It just depended on how nice of a water bottle you wanted to get. Now, like I said, she's had it for a couple of years now, and it's kept all that data, and it is incredible because she'll go back and read that information and track what she's done, and she'll tell me about it, which is actually really, really cool because I like hearing it's like, wow, you've really come a long ways. So it's like, okay, maybe I need to think about getting one of those. I just haven't yet, but I'm thinking about it. But I've got so many other water bottles around here, and I'm so used to just watching what I do. Like I said, I count 2 of those big containers per day, and I'm trying to work to get to a 3rd one. But like I said, I don't want to run to the restroom every 20 minutes. I'm already at 30 minutes. I don't want to go to 20 minutes because then my boss is going to yell at me and say, hello, back off on the water intake so we can keep you at your desk and working. But if you didn't want to, basically, if you didn't want to spend the money, which you don't have to, I haven't, but I've thought about it. There's no doubt about that one there. You can track it through setting goals. Drink 2 glasses immediately. This is basically, they considered a to-do list, which was really cool. And so they say drink 2 glasses of water immediately after waking up, and then have a goal of 1 glass of water every hour while at work. When the workday is done, your water quota will be met or close to it. And then the other one was drink 1 glass of water before each meal and a second afterward. The side benefit, if you drink a glass of water before you eat, you'll feel more satisfied, which is true. You're filling up your tummy and you're going to take in less calories. So that's another way of doing it. But as soon as I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I do is I just start pounding liquid. Typically, I'll start out with Crystal Light so there's a little bit of flavor. And then after that, I have my Mountain Dew to jumpstart the body. And then after that, it's just water the rest of the day, water and Crystal Light. Another one that somebody suggested, select 8 to 12 dried beans from the pantry depending on how many glasses of water you need per day. So for every glass you put a bean in a cup, and then as you drink a glass you take that and put it into the empty container, so that tells you how many more glasses you need to do per day. And you could do it as goals where you have it for the whole family. You could have a set for mom, a set for dad, a set for the kids, whatever it is, and you can just basically challenge each other every day there to make sure you're drinking enough fluids and getting all the water and everything else that you need running through your body it was kind of a neat way. I looked at it and I go, that was actually really neat. I wouldn't have thought of that. So that's why I thought I would tell you guys about it, because it might be something to do fun with the family to get everybody involved in this. So, but to me, like Rebecca does, she does the Hydrate Spark. I think that's a really, really cool product. Whoever come up with that one there is pretty darn smart. I think it's really neat. But like I said, and I'm not getting anything for this. This is just information to you guys. That's all this is. I'm not getting reimbursed or anything from Hydrate Spark in any way, shape, or form. All I know is it works and it helps, and it's a proven product there because I've seen it work over the years. So if you go to hydratespark.com, you can find the cups and everything else, and they'll ship it to you. And it's actually really cool. So if you get a minute to go check them out there, I thought it was really neat. I didn't realize they had so many different water bottles and stuff, so it was really cool. But after all that said and done, no matter how you basically track or count or whatever you drink, just make sure that you're running enough fluids through the body to keep everything going. And like I said, it helps with migraines, it helps with the skin, it helps with the organs, helps with the brain. There's just so much good that happens. That's what you want to do. So I will do my best there to attach a link in my Facebook page for the Hydrate Spark, so that way you can walk right to it and see where I went there. But it's just hydratespark.com. If you have any questions, or if I covered something too fast, or if you have an idea of basically what you're drinking, anything to help your body out, if there's different kinds of drinks, please send them to SeanGMorris@gmail.com. I would absolutely love to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts and what you do basically to power through getting your 100 ounces of water or fluids per day. So it's great, because then what I can do is I can share that with the rest of our extended family, and everybody can benefit from it. So thank you so much for that there, ahead of time. And like I said, it's Sean G. Morris, SeanGMorsse @gmail.com. Send them over. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any updates, if you have, if you want to post a picture on the Facebook page, so to show and be proud of how far you have come in your weight loss journey, I absolutely want to share that with everybody as well. We have a wonderful extended family. We're very supportive. We're very helpful. It's great. That's what we do all the time, and I want to keep doing it and helping everybody out. So, okay, that's the end of this podcast. Remember, I believe in you. You've got this. No matter what you do, you've got it. I know you're going to make it to the finish line. I know you're going to make it to your weight loss journey goals and stuff. And honestly, I think you're going to break them and go further than you plan to. I just see that happening. So keep up the good work. And while you're doing that, and while you're working on things and listening to this podcast, please remember to hit like. Make sure you share. If you're on YouTube, you can comment. Share as much as you can of the podcast episodes, because what that's doing is it's getting us out there further. It moves me up in the search algorithm so people can find us easier, and that's just going to help all of our new extended family that we're going to be bringing into the fold, because everybody needs a positive place to go. Everybody needs a little bit of help, and there's no cost to this. So all you got to do is just, when you're driving down the road, heading home, going to work, or you're at work or working out or walking or whatever it is, you can listen to the podcast, and hopefully there's something in these podcasts that is going to actually help you a little bit there, or make you think about something a little bit different. If you're not, always wanting to listen to, the weight loss ones, remember there's the Hodgepodge series that has all kinds of different things. I don't really do much with the weight loss there. There's all kinds of different subjects, so hopefully there's something in those that you will like. But just thank you very much. That's all I can say about sharing everything and talking about it and emailing me and suggestions and sending me your dad jokes. It's awesome. So, speaking of which, look at that. We're going to end this podcast now with the dad joke of the day. So, if you're ready to go, here we go. What? Let's see here. Dad joke of the day. Do you know why the coach went to the bank? To get his quarterback. Thank you so much there. I appreciate you tuning in and stuff there. Sorry about the barking. That's Willow. I can't seem to get her to quit, so she's signing off with me. And as always, all my love and support, Sean.